Hello, BookTube. This is Weekly Reads. My reading week this week has been devoted exclusively to manga. I started my reading week with 6 volumes of Bleach by Tite Kubo. Volumes 7 through 12. Bleach is one of the most popular manga series ever. It's the story of a young man named Ichigo Kurosaki who can see spirits and interact with them. One day he meets a young woman named Rukia, who is a Shinigami, a Grim Reaper. Her job is to help the deceased cross over into the Soul Society, where the spirits of the deceased live until they are reincarnated, and also to cleanse hollows, corrupted spirits who have stayed in the living world too long. A hollow is attacking the clinic that Ichigo's father runs and also lives in. And Rukia is there to stop this hollow. However, she is injured, and Rukia passes on her spirit powers to Ichigo, transforming him into a substitute Soul Reaper. And once this particular hollow is dispatched, Rukia begins to train Ichigo to be her substitute until she can gain her powers back. However, that's taking a lot longer than she anticipated. Um, Volume 7 opens with Rukia being confronted by 2 other Shinigami. Her older brother Byakuya, who is the cover model for this volume, and a childhood friend named Renji. Rukia is accused of 2 crimes for which she must return to Soul Society to be judged and sentenced. First being going AWOL, and secondly, having transferred her powers to a mortal. This confrontation is interrupted by Yuryu, who is a classmate of Ichigo's and is a Quincy, a human with special supernatural abilities of his own, who had a conflict with Ichigo in the previous arc. So Yuru does not like Soul Reapers, and he inserts himself into this confrontation and is grievously injured. This, however, gives enough time for Ichigo to discover that something is wrong. Rukia was intending to willingly leave once she figured out that her older brother was coming for her. But Ichigo intervenes and is defeated, and his Soul Reaper abilities destroyed. And Rukia goes into the spirit world to face judgment. However, while Byakuya believes that he killed Ichigo, Ichigo survived and is patched up by Urahara. And so Urahara offers to train Ichigo for the next 10 days in order to regain his Soul Reaper abilities, because while Byakuya destroyed those powers, those were actually Rukia's. And that Ichigo, since he is naturally super sensitive to ghosts, can, with some training, manifest powers of his own. It's later revealed that his powers are biological. And so Ichigo begins to train to reacquire to develop his own Soul Reaper abilities and to go through a crash course of further training to be a more accomplished Soul Reaper than he has been to this point. Yuryu also begins to train for his confrontation with the Shinigami, and Orihime and Chad, two of Ichigo's friends who have developed supernatural powers of their own, also begin to train in order to help Ichigo infiltrate Soul Society, which they do, and this invasion leads to a number of battles between Ichigo and his companions and various Soul Reapers. At the same time, not all is right within Soul Society, the governing organization of the Shinigami, and there's some sort of conspiracy going on that is centered on a Soul Reaper captain named Aizen. Whether he's the sort of investigating what's going on or is actually the culprit won't be revealed until a few volumes in the future. So much of these volumes is devoted to Ichigo's training to develop his own Soul Reaper abilities and to develop his own Zanpakuto, the sword that Soul Reapers use, and the initial battles of Ichigo and his companions' invasion into Soul Society. I really enjoyed these volumes. They turned out to be quite fun, particularly the fights once they get to Soul Society. So here's some images. That's Renji, and this is Ichigo. And one thing I like that, and one thing I love about Tite Kubo's style is his chapter covers. They are also awesome, or often very awesome and very interesting, like this one here. And that's really awesome. Okay. And I also read, starting on Sunday and concluding today, I read all 23 volumes of Demon Slayer by Koyoharu Gotouge. Demon Slayer is set in the Taisho period of Japan and is about two siblings, Tenjiro and Nezuko Kamado. One day or one evening, Tenjiro goes down the mountain from his home to a local village to sell some charcoal. While he's away, a demon, Muzan Kibitsuji, attacks his home and kills his entire family, save for Nezuko, whom he transforms into a demon. When Tenjiro returns home, he discovers the massacre and his transformed sister. She attacks him and he holds her off. At this point, a man named Giyu, who is a demon slayer, one of the Hashira, one of the elite warriors within the demon slayers, arrives to try to put down Nezuko. And Tenjiro defends his sister, arguing that she hasn't eaten anyone yet, she's still innocent, and to give him a chance to not only become a demon slayer, but also to look for a way to transform his sister back into a human. Moved, Giyu allows Tenjiro and Nezuko to live and to begin training as a demon slayer. So Tenjiro becomes a demon slayer and goes on a number of adventures, all leading ultimately to a final confrontation between the demon slayers and Muzan Kibitsuji himself, the father of all demons. So I had a blast with this series. It was really fun to revisit it. I read it slowly last year, and I think the beginning or the ending of 2022. Um, I sort of, over the course of 2022 and 2023, I slowly collected the series and read the volumes as they came to me. And I really enjoyed that. And I think I enjoyed reading the whole series in pretty much one gulp this past week. It was really fun. I especially love um, sort of Tanjiro and his relationship with the sister, his determination, his general kindness, his sympathy. Many of the demons he faces are were broken humans who Muzin took advantage of, transforming them into monsters. And I really like how Tanjiro can sympathize with them and show them empathy in their last moments, remembering that these are former humans and that it's important to remember that. And it's quite moving. A number of villains, Rui from the Spider arc, Decking Gitoro from the Red Light District arc, Akaza, um, all have rather tragic backstories. I also really enjoy the companions that um, Tanjiro gathers around him. There are two similarly rookie demon slayers that routinely accompany Tanjiro and Nezuko on their adventures. Zenitsu, who is a lecherous coward, and Inosuke, who is a crazy feral child. I also quite like many of the other characters. Many of the Hashira, um, once they get to know Tanjiro, are really awesome, and I really enjoy many of the arcs, particularly the Infinity Train arc, the Red Light District arc, the Swordsmith Village arc, and the Infinity Castle arc are all really good. And I really love the artwork. It is really fun. So let me show you some images from this volume and volume 8. Let's see here. And there's Oh yeah, it was really fun. Um, so I think so. I had a blast. Um, so what I will be reading this coming reading week, I will probably lay off on the manga for a little bit. I do have some incoming from book people, and I did put in another order with pals, and those will be coming within the next week or two. But I think this coming reading week, I'm going to read some poetry and maybe something else. I haven't quite decided, so I will report back next weekly reads. So until then, BookTube, thank you. Have a great rest of your evening and weekend, and stay safe.